Okay, now, like right down here is Walmart, and City Market's over here, and the ski tow is right over the top of this hill here, right behind that there. And of course, there's the barn there. Of course, the road goes this way now. This is all gone.
Yeah, this road here is all gone.
And this is the parking area, and the tennis courts are over there. I think, when I think of back then, I think of what we used to do for fun. You know, we didn't have to spend any money, and we didn't have to have any special equipment or anything. We just made our own fun, you know, and we had a lot of fun. We really did, and you know, we never got in any trouble, you know, in bad trouble anyway, you know. So.
One of the nice things about living out on the farm with no electricity and no water was that when we were in grade school, one of the kids would invite us in to spend the night in town, and we'd get to spend the night in town, or there was running water, but inside toilet, electricity.
Yeah.
That was always a big treat.
Yeah.
And I always kind of wondered when we invited those same kids to come out to our place out on the farm where there was no water, no inside toilet, what they thought.
They were probably glad to go home. I'll bet anyway. So. Well, it was, we had a good time, you know. I mean, we were poor, but we didn't know any better. And it was fun. We always had fun. Every day we had fun every day, you know, winter and summer. It was always felt, you know, a lot of fun.
But along with it, there was a lot of work. Because in those days, the snow would always get 3 to 4 feet deep. And in the wintertime, we fought the snow all winter long and bring the animals in to the barn during the cold part of the winter. And in the summertime, we spent all the rest of the summer
Preparing for the next winter.
Mowing and stacking hay and filling the hayloft of the barn. The barn had a big hayloft in it. And we would haul it in on wagons from the field, put the hay in the hayloft. And we did that, they did that for years. And then they finally got a fork that they'd be able to,
Yeah.
you didn't have to hand pitch it. And one of the favorite places was to go up in the hayloft, climb up the top of the barn and jump down into the hay again and again and again.
Yeah. And then in the summer, after the hay was fed in the winter, but before we stored hay, why, of course, the hayloft was empty. And that was a huge area for us we could do a lot up there, play a lot of games up there. But
what was a typical day like on the farm back then?
well, it started early.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, at like 5 o'clock, you had to go milk. And then after they got the morning chores done, you come in and you ate breakfast. And then after breakfast, why, then you went to work, you know, after. And then in the evening, about 4 or 5 o'clock, then that was the time for, you know, evening chores, and that lasted till 7 or something like that. So the days were pretty long, really, you know, by the time you...
There was no free time though after you finished the milking and the chores of a morning. Then you get the team, hook the team up in the wintertime to the sled, and all the hay was stacked away from out in the fields. So you had to haul at least one load of hay every day, bring it back in for feed, and you would feed the cows out in the open area. Then you'd bring the rest of the hay in for feed during the evening. Well, we used to ski, of course, and skis were the old type of ski, where it just had a strap over the top and you put your toe in it, and you carry your ski up on the hill, walk up the top of the hill, put it on, and slide down. Then you take your skis off and climb back up the hill, slide down. We did a lot of sledding. The road up above to the east of us, the county road, was pretty steep, and we'd go up and we could sled and toboggan down the road, and that was a lot of fun.
What was it like having? I guess it was back then. It was Storm Mountain, but what was it like having that hill pretty much all to yourselves without the lines and the
Pretty
lift
much,
tickets?
yeah.
I mean, you guys didn't have to buy season passes and spend all your hard-earned money on that. I mean, what was it like to have that in your backyard?
We used to have. I had a birthday in the middle of winter, and I always had some of the classmates. This is when I was in grade school, of course. They bring them out to the farm, and they got a kick out of going into the barn and playing in the barn.
Yeah.
And we go up on the what we call our ski hill, and play up there. No lifts. You had all manpower. You had to pack your own skis back up the hill.
Yeah. We got more exercise than we got skiing.
Yeah.
We got a lot of exercise that way.
What was Steamboat like as a place when you were growing up? Do you remember? I mean, how many people were there? What you guys did for
Well,
work?
the population was about 1,200 people.
Yeah,
1,200 people.
Yeah.
So. And Main Street was just the swimming pool on one end, and the old cabin hotel, which burned down, and the depot was on the west end of town. But it was strictly just one main street.
Yeah. They had a movie theater, hardware store. I think they had one grocery store or two grocery stores. I think they had two grocery stores. But, they wouldn't. Oh, and two drugstores.
Yeah.
Two drugstores, a couple of cafes. There wasn't too much there, really.
What was your father like, Walter?
He was a pretty aggressive person. He always had these ideas, like putting gas light in the barn and whatnot. Those were all his ideas. You had to keep expanding. We started out, I'm sure they started out with just one barn and a granary. And over the years they built chicken houses, 2 chicken houses.
Yeah.
Mom always had 500 hens, and she would get 500 eggs a day. And she was able to go into the chicken house and tell which old hen was not laying an egg, and we'd have stewed chicken that night. So the chickens had to be on the alert. But
In the spring, the chickens came through the mail. Could we go down to the post office and pick up these boxes of little chickens? The postmaster, he'd call you up on the phone and say, "Your chickens are here." So then we'd go down and get these boxes of chickens, or little chickens. Did that every year.
How did growing up on the Arnold farm affect how you decided to spend the rest of your life? How do you look back at what you did in Steamboat and how you were raised, and how does that contribute to who you are today?
I think it probably made us realize that you don't want to be a farmer. You want to do something,
I think that was true, yeah.
you know. 'Cause-
My,
but-
my vision was that I wanted to go to college and get off the farm because it was just too much work. There
yeah.
were no vacations, and farming today I think is quite different than it was
Yeah,
then, of course.
yeah.
Everything had to be done by hand. You haul the hay with a pitchfork onto the wagon and sled and whatnot. You use your team in the wintertime, and everything had to be done every day. There was no excuse to put something off till tomorrow because you had to get it done today.
It makes me feel older when I see the shape the barn's in, and I'm thinking, you know, I'm about the same shape. You know, I'm falling apart.
Well, I think it's great that somebody has taken an interest in trying to preserve it because it was sturdily built. It's beginning to sag a little bit now, and of course the tin off the roof is beginning to disappear. But makes you feel, it makes you feel old. That's for sure. And it's something that should be preserved.
Well, I think, you know, I'm kind of surprised that people that have moved into the valley in the last, 30, 40 years would even care about something that old, you know. I'm surprised that there are people that really, really care about it, and there must be, or nothing would be happening, you know. But it kind of surprises me that, you know, I think a lot of people would maybe say, well, why don't they just burn it down, you know, and be done with it, you know. So it is nice that people are thinking about saving something like that, I think, you know. Because there's too many of these old buildings like that and places have disappeared. There's nothing left except maybe the foundation, you know.